Hello again, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker and trainer, and as a coach, I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it from the stage. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. Many of my other presentations are found on my website. If your organization has an upcoming conference, you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I have a number of books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear, my latest book, Perfecting Your Platform. Those books are both on Amazon and Audible. My series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon. Go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, all my books will appear. I've got a great theme today, and it's one that I've always wanted to talk about, and it's this. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. I hope you'll stay with me. It's a great show. Thank you for these next few minutes together. Let's get started. J.R.R. Tolkien, in his book, The Fellowship of the Ring, writes, "All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be the blade that was broken, and crownless again shall be king." Most of us are familiar with the opening lines of this poem. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. And while I like those lines, I have to say I am more drawn to the words of the poem that speak to me. And it's this phrase, deep roots are not reached by the frost. And friend, that's my thought for today. So we're coming into the autumn months, my favorite time of year, and I feel the world is slowly slowing down, heading to winter. I like to slow down and rest in these darker days and breathe in the cold, crisp air. And as I was thinking about this idea, I just had to ask myself, hey, Deb, do I have deep roots that are not reached by the frost? And see, I believe that frost can be whatever issue you are struggling with. Whether it's your issue with anger or wrath or selfishness or greed, laziness or idleness, overweening pride or arrogance, and for some, the allure of lust or desire, envy, jealousy, gluttony, for what most of us call greed. And as you can tell, I've gone through what's considered the 7 deadly sins, also known as the capital vices or cardinal sins, which is a classification that has been used since early Christian times to educate and instruct concerning fallen humanity. That's a direct quote from Wikipedia. So the idea of frost, for my thought today, is anything that's in your life that may be seen as a surface issue, but is deep within your soul, that takes you off the path you need to follow. Or if you don't learn to control it, friend, it will wreck your life. What I see is that there's a lot of people who seem strong on the outside, but when the storms of life rip into them, they crumble and fall. Sometimes they fall neatly into pieces, and sometimes they just fall apart, losing it with no way to recover because they had no deep roots to anchor them in the storm. In an earlier show I did called Turn Yourself Around, I might have been a little tough with my admonition to turn yourself around if you're headed in the wrong direction. It's just that I hate to see good people make wrong decisions when a little clear thinking and a strong root base of moral consciousness could pull them back into the right path for a lifetime of success. And let me say that when I speak to you, please know I'm speaking to myself. And like many of you, I do hope and pray that I don't make a boneheaded decision and fall. I cling to the line, but by the grace of God, go I. Our friend, deep roots are not reached by the frost. And that's my thought for today, because I believe it's an issue we need to address today and every day if we want to make good decisions that will leave a legacy and will hold us safe and sound when the winter wind brings the snow and frost into our lives. Now, I'm blessed to live in the South. I've had a few years in upstate New York when I was a child, but even then, I did not like cold weather. I'm really not a fan of snow and ice. So when I think about the directive that deep roots aren't reached by the frost, it's a reminder for me to grow deep with strength and power. Or, as any plant or tree would do, to reach deep down for water and sustenance so I can be nourished and hold strong when the winds of life blow against me. The way we hold strong in hard times, and without a doubt, I believe we are seeing the hard times in real time here in America, is that we need to anchor onto the values that we believe hold us to a higher standard than what we are seeing in the world today. Values that for some seem to be forgotten or ignored or just set aside by our words and actions. I gotta say, I am very concerned about what I consider the vulgarity of people with their words and language. I gotta say, it just bothers me, and I'm seeing it more and more, and I'm hearing it more and more. I add to that it seems we are becoming a lawless society that calls good evil and evil good. Frankly, I'm concerned for our kids and our elderly population in the world, that they will grow up or grow old if we don't redirect ourselves and get back on track with respect of our elders, respect for the law, and of our government. A while back, I spoke on having a moral compass, the idea that you have the ability to judge what's right and wrong and act accordingly. Your moral compass should function as a guide for morally appropriate behavior. These definitions are from the dictionary. And that guide shows its worth when you stand against the frost of your loser friends, your dishonest boss, or the world at large because you have, either by education or upbringing, let your roots grow so deep that they're not reached by the damaging frost of those around you, and certainly those who are not going in the same direction. In order for you to survive the winters of life, let me share a few ideas I believe will help you grow in this quiet season. The first is to think about the values that define you. Think about the values you place on others, and then think about how to live your values daily. So I have to ask, what are the values that define you? So most of us would say honesty, fairness, maybe kindness and generosity. Those are all great ideals that we can strive for. But at your core, have you thought about what you really believe? Do you really think we are all equal? Do you really think that your actions don't have consequences? Or do you think you can get by doing little with the expectation of receiving a lot? Really, only you know what is really in your heart. I know that many people overinflate their ideal values. It's just human nature to think of ourselves first, and that's probably fine if it's a balance with reality and reason. For myself, as I've matured in life and have come through some pretty hard times, I have to say I've established the values that I hold dear enough to stand for in good times and bad. And those are the values that I believe in, that define me. When I am in public or in my private life, we all have values. I have to ask, is it standing or holding on? Is it persevering during the frost that defines us? I hope so. How about the value you place on others? In an article in The Atlantic titled "The Code of the Streets," sociologist Elijah Anderson points out the sad and backward reasoning of today. The extent to which one person can raise himself up depends on his ability to put another person down. As heartbreaking as that statement is, it's true in today's society. You see it in the news daily or at the office or with your friends. And since it's true, it plays out against itself in heartbreaking ways. So think about this. If we placed value on others, we'd see the world in a different way. A way that I believe would allow for safety and security of us all, versus the fear and disruption that seems to plague our families, our city, and the world. If your roots are deep enough, the frost of dismissiveness or jealousy or hatred of others will never seep down into your roots, or better stated, your values when it comes to others. So, how do you live your values daily? Some would say they are considerate or kind or generous, and hey, that's great, continue doing all the good you can. by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you can. A quote from John Wesley. I would just ask that you consider taking it one step further with my favorite quote. Live in such a way that if anyone should speak badly of you, no one would believe it. Friend, that's living your values daily for others to see, believe, and then hopefully follow and emulate in their own lives. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. They don't let the winds of drama and current situations change them. They don't bend, they don't break. They grow strong and deep to hold fast when winter comes and goes, and spring awakens them to a new day where they can bloom where they are planted. Dear listener, I hope your roots are deep, and I hope that no matter what happens in the world, the frost will not affect you. All right, you've been listening to Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life. I hope you'll join me next week so we can continue the journey together. And I want you to remember this. I don't care what the world says about you. I want you to know that I care about you. I care about you because I believe that if you will let your roots grow deep, you can do big things because nothing will sway you. And I'm here to say I will walk alongside you as we follow that dream for your success, a lifetime of success together. I hope you have a great weekend. Join me next week, everybody. Take care.